How's the weather where you are? I live in Las Vegas, so it's nice and sunny here, but I have lived in states like Missouri, Nebraska, Colorado, and New Jersey, where I would have loved to get away to somewhere warm during the winter months. So in today's tutorials, we are covering how you can take some quick getaways on points, both in economy and business class. And as a reminder, if you're just listening to the audio version of this, check out the JetBlue Travel YouTube channel for the full video walkthrough. Okay, let's jump right in for how to get some tropical getaways.
The first example we're going to go over is how to fly JetBlue Mint business class to different places in the Caribbean. This is one of my favorite business class products, and they have a lot of direct flights that you can do. However, JetBlue's website is not the easiest to navigate for finding this kind of business class flight availability. So instead, I like to go to seats.aero and then click on the Explore feature and go to JetBlue. From here, I would show flights from North America to North America. If you want to just do the free version, then you can do 60 days here. Or if you want to see the full year of availability, you can pay $10 for the pro version and access a full year. From here, I would sort by business class lowest. This will show you all of the different business class flights where there is availability. Two great destinations I would use this for if you want to take a quick getaway to an island. I would search for Nassau in the Bahamas, where they have a lot of different flights from LAX to the Bahamas for less than 35,000 points per person each way in business class. Or another destination you could search for is UVF, which is going to be in St. Lucia, and they have flights between JFK and UVF starting at about 35,000 points as well. And occasionally they do have these flights from Boston too. So let's say we like this option from JFK to UVF on January 27, which should be about 34.8 thousand points. Then we just go to JetBlue, say JFK or New York area to St. Lucia, UVF on the 27th, and then click search flights. And here we do see that lay flat seat offered for 34.8 thousand points. You can move chase points over to 1-to-1 ratio. If you wanted to do this in dollars, it's only going to be about $438, which is not a bad price at all. Or if you have an Amex Business Platinum and you wanted to select JetBlue as your preferred airline, you could also get a 35% back rebate on this particular fare, and we'll link to a video to show you how to do that here as well.
If you're just getting started with points, we have a free Points 101 course for you to help you get your next flight or hotel stay covered with points. Grab the free course at geobreezetravel.com/free course or check out the link in the description box. One of the most requested destinations for tutorials that we get is Hawaii, especially if you can get there in lay flat business class seats. So in this next tutorial, we are going to cover how to find some great deals to Hawaii in business and first class on points. Here's the play.
So JetBlue has this handy route map that shows everywhere they fly, which is all over the US, into South America, and the Caribbean as well. It looks like Hawaii isn't on the route map, but there is actually a way where you can use code share partners with JetBlue to find some really, really nicely priced flights over to Hawaii in lie flat business class. Here's how. So once again, I would go to seats.aero, and I would click on this search feature. From here, I would say, let's go for any airports in the US over to Honolulu, Hawaii, and I just typed in a date of February 14 and said we're good searching plus or minus 14 days, so we are good to search for the whole month of February. Let's find something that has at least 2 seats available and click search. From here, I would filter on anything that has first class availability. We're going to see some stuff with Alaska and then also with JetBlue. So let's ignore the Alaska ones for now, but this is a pretty good way to fly between LAX and Hawaii for about 40,000 points if you wanted to fly on an AA aircraft. But with JetBlue, these are operated by Hawaiian Airlines, as you can tell by the IATA code HA, which stands for Hawaiian. In the search box, we can even say HA so that we can narrow down our search features to something that has that Hawaiian Airlines lay flat aircraft. This should cost about 50,000 points to fly this premium product per person one way, and you can book it through JetBlue. Let's take this example. From LAX over to Honolulu on February 2nd should cost 50,000 miles. So we are going to check this out and say LAX over to Honolulu on February 2nd. And so it's going to default to showing you the economy priced options. This is a really good fare for 20,000 points if you wanted to fly this in economy. And this second option does have a business class option as well, where it features recliner seats and an elevated experience in the air and on the ground. Now, I'm a little bit scared by the phrase recliner seat because there is a difference between a glorified recliner and something that actually fully lays flat. The way that I would want to tell is to look up this flight, HA9, which is an Airbus 330-200 operated by Hawaiian Airlines. If you're like me and you're not an av geek and you're like, what in the world does that even mean? I would then go to aerolopa.com. And then once you're on Aerolopa, you can scroll down to Hawaiian Airlines and look at the seat map for the Airbus A330-200. This is what the seats look like here. These look pretty nice. And then you could also just Google Hawaiian Airlines A330 business class and look at images here to see what it would look like. And these look like the ones that are the fully lay flat seats, which you can find as a codeshare partner on JetBlue. Even though it says they don't really fly to Hawaii, you are able to book these flights for 50,000 points per person one way. And from LA to Honolulu, this is about a 6-hour flight. So given my 10K rule, I would be willing to pay up to 60,000 points per person for those 6 hours in lay flat business class. And this price fits nicely within that limit that I've set for myself. Seats.aero is usually pretty accurate with the flight availability that they're showing on their site, but I was running into a lot of trouble finding these flights between Seattle and Honolulu in first class with Hawaiian Airlines, where Seats.aero is saying we should be able to find it for all of these different dates, but here's what I'm seeing. So we searched from Seattle over to Honolulu on February 2nd, where we should see some availability. On this first flight, there's only economy availability left. Same with the second one, same with this third one. So even though Seats.aero says we should be able to find some of this Hawaiian Airlines first class as a code share between Seattle and Honolulu, I checked through all these different dates and was having trouble finding that myself. So here's another way if you wanted to fly from Seattle over to Honolulu in business class or first class. Let's go ahead and take out this filter for Hawaiian Airlines and sort by business class lowest. Seattle to Honolulu actually has a lot of availability with Delta points, and it's only 32.5 thousand points, which is not bad, especially because it's so hard to get a lot of value out of Delta miles these days. So let's try and see if we can find one of these on Delta's website for the price that Seats.aero says we should find it for. Let's check February 5th. So what we're going to do is go to delta.com, search from Seattle over to Honolulu one way on February 5th, click on Advanced Search, click on Shop with Miles, and let's just say Main Cabin for now to see all of the different prices. Click Search, and here it says we have flights starting at 15,000 points from Seattle over to Hawaii. This is going to be an economy, but let's click Continue to see all the different prices. And we would be able to fly Delta First Class for 32.5 thousand points, as Seats.aero mentioned. And if we look at the seats here, these are not going to be lay flat seats. These are going to be like those glorified recliners that I was talking about earlier. But if you wanted a seat like this where you kind of have aisle and window access by yourself, this is not too bad of a price for 32.5 thousand points for 6.5 hours. It's not going to be a lay flat seat, but it is going to be pretty roomy and a comfortable way to fly from Seattle over to Hawaii.
Are you enjoying these types of videos? If yes, please let me know. Click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for even more points and miles tips every week. If you're the kind of person who's like, I will go anywhere where there's a good cheap points deal, just as long as it's just somewhere warm, this next tool is going to come in handy for you.
If you're the kind of traveler who's like, I just want to see where I can get from my home airport to literally anywhere with a beach whenever this winter I just need to go somewhere where are the best deals, I also recommend PointMe's new Explore feature for this. I think it does this very well. So what you would need to do is go to PointMe and then scroll down to this Explore feature page and click Start Exploring. Then from here, you can say business and first or just economy. We'll do an economy example right here. Let's say that you are in Chicago and you're like, I will go anywhere with a beach in the months of January or February because Chicago is cold and I do not want to be there during the winter months. Then you would say okay and click Explore. And from here, PointMe will load a bunch of different recommendations based off of deals that they have found for other people's searches. So you could go to Cancun for 10,000 points, Miami for 12,000 points, Florida, Newport Beach. It's going to have a ton of different recommendations for destinations for you if you're just like, where can I go with points? You can also click on each of these and it'll show you what kind of points you need. So if you wanted to go from Chicago to Cancun, for about 10,000 points, you're going to need 10,000 United points, and it would be on January 29. For this Miami one, it would be with American Airlines miles. You would need about 12,000 of those points, and it would be on February 29. So this is just a quick example of how you can use PointMe to find even more destination recommendations based off of the kinds of points that you have and what type of destination you want to go to. Because not just beach, but if you wanted to go to a culture destination, adventure, city, food and wine, wellness, they have all of that ready to go as well. So let's say that you wanted to go to Miami, you can also just click on search live availability from here. PointMe will search through a bunch of different programs. And I like to sort by points low to high. It's actually even lower than they said. It's only 9,000 points here. And if you want, you can even filter down by the different programs that you have right now. They're saying there's deals with American, British, and JetBlue. There's some deals with Delta. So this is a quick way to find out lots of different places that you can go to as well if you just want a tropical escape from whatever winter wonderland you live in right now.
One of my favorite things about PointMe is that they let you filter results down based on the kinds of points that you have with different credit card programs. This can include Chase, American Express, Capital One, Citi, and Bilt. If you're in the market for a new card to earn more points or status, but not sure what card to get, we offer free credit card consultations at geobreezetravel.com/consultations. We'll send you personalized recommendations based on your particular goals, budget, and lifestyle. Or, if you already know what card you want to get next, and you would like to support this show when you apply for your next card, we have all of our affiliate links listed on geobreezetravel.com/cards. And you can also find that link in the description box. Okay, what if you know where you want to fly to, but you want to find the best hotel deals on points in that tropical destination? Here are 2 tools that I recommend using for finding the best hotel points prices and availability.
Seats.aero has a hotel version that you can use to find hotel rooms instead of flights. It's still in beta mode, but you can find it at rooms.aero. I think this one's entirely free for everybody. So what you can do is click Explore, and then it currently works with IHG, Hilton, and Hyatt. It does not have Marriott in here yet, but let's say that you are a Hyatt fan and you just want to go somewhere warm. So they have a couple of pretty cool features here where you can filter down by country and say, oh, let's just find everything that's good in Mexico. And you can even filter down by cents per point to say, where can I get at least 5 cents per point in Mexico? If you wanted to go to Hyatt Place La Paz or Hyatt House Mexico City, those are Category 1 hotels, so you are only going to be paying 3,500 points per night or 5,000 points per night. And this is pretty crazy. That's like a $500 per night hotel. This one's $200 or so per night, so that is a pretty good deal. If you want to be a little bit more flexible and say 4 cents per point, there's a few other dates that you could do with those hotels as well. So we also have this Hyatt Regency in Mexico City, where it's only 15,000 points, but it's more than a $600 hotel. That's pretty crazy. And that is not until next October, so let's check that out. So in the world of Hyatt, I searched for Hyatt Regency in Mexico City for those dates in October. This is a new hotel, Hyatt Regency Mexico City Insurgentes. Let's view the rates to see if that's actually available. And you can book a 1 king bed in this hotel for 15,000 points. And if you wanted to use money, it would be more than $600, so that is a solid deal. Another reason people love going to Mexico, especially if they're Hyatt fans, is for the all-inclusive resorts. So let's say that you wanted to stay at the Hyatt Ziva Cancun between February 9 and 11, and you were searching for this on points with Hyatt. So it says, unfortunately, the hotel I searched for is not available during those dates. We have this very, very expensive 58,000 point per night hotel in the Impressions, Isla Mujeres, Secrets, The Vine. But let's say that I really, really wanted to stay at Hyatt Ziva. One tool that I like for doing this type of search is Awayz, which lets you find all of the different availability with different hotels. So here I would say Hyatt Ziva Cancun, and I would want to go from February 9 through 11. And we would click search. And just like we saw on Hyatt, it says there's nothing available for those selected dates. But if we click on this hotel, and then click on the green arrow, and then click on award availability, we can see where there is availability. So anything where it says NA means that it is not available, but it would be available during the weekdays for 45,000 points, or anywhere where there's a cash price listed like the 20th or 21st. They're sold out of points rooms, but you could pay for the cash rate. Now, for 45,000 points, I don't love this rate of about $776. For 45,000 points, I would want at least a $900 hotel room, so I would probably skip out on this anyway. But this is an easy way to find all of the hotel availability for a particular year with the hotel that you want with Hyatt. Because even with Hyatt's own website, if you look at their points calendar, it's just going to show you which dates are peak and off-peak, but it doesn't actually tell you which days are available or not available. So that's what I like to use Awayz for.
Our last walkthrough covers how you can fly away to islands that feel like a world away, but you can still get there with a non-stop business class flight. And if you're interested in leveling up your points and miles game and getting more free trips and upgrades to luxury destinations, we have a couple of options for you. The first one is the GeoBreeze Travel Patreon, which you can join starting at $5 through patreon.com/GeoBreezeTravel. Every month, we prepare personalized step-by-step tutorials for the routes that our members request. We also provide open forum group coaching, where you can ask any questions that you have about points, miles, and credit cards, and we walk through some of the tricks that I'm not really supposed to mention on social media. And if you're looking to get even more free travel with points, and you're a business owner or individual who spends more than $100,000 per year on expenses, check out our one-on-one points portfolio management service. We typically save our clients $30,000 to $60,000 in travel in the first 6 to 12 months of working with our team. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, book a free intro chat with us at geobreezetravel.com/intro call to learn more. Okay, here's how to find great flight deals to the South Pacific in business class.
If you are on the West Coast and interested in visiting French Polynesia or anything in Oceania, I would suggest, once again, going back to seats.aero and then click the search feature. For origin airport, just say anything from the USA, and then your destination airport codes are going to be PPT and NAN. This is going to be Tahiti and Fiji, respectively. Then for departure date, let's say anytime between February and March. And we would go ahead and click search and sort by business class lowest. So here's a pretty good find. You can fly between San Francisco and Tahiti for only about 55,000 miles on this United flight. 55,000 miles plus 76 Canadian dollars is a great deal. It is pretty rare that it's the only one of its kind that is showing up. If you have a lot of Alaska miles, you can fly between LAX and Tahiti. There's a direct flight operated by Air Tahiti Nui, which is what this TN code stands for. If you don't have that, there are some with Qantas as well for about 70,000 per person one way, and a lot with American Airlines too. Air France also operates a fifth freedom flight between LAX and Tahiti. So if you wanted to fly this, it is pretty steep right now, 104.5 thousand points to fly this in business class. It's an 8.5 hour flight, so I probably would skip on this. For an 8-hour flight, I wouldn't want to pay more than 80,000 points per person one way. But if you really wanted to experience Air France and you're like, I don't want to go to France, I just want to go to an island, this is one way to experience that. If you would rather go to Fiji instead, there's not a lot of good availability right now. Let's check near the end of the year. And here we do see more availability if you're looking further out in the calendar between San Francisco and Fiji for 55,000 points on Fiji Air in business class per person one way with Alaska miles. You can also do that exact same flight if you have American Airlines miles, though it is going to cost a bit more, because then you're looking at 80,000 points instead of 55,000 points. Or if you wanted to do the same thing with Qantas, then you are looking at 82,000 points. If your transfer partners, all you have is American Express and you don't have built so that you can move those to American Airlines and you don't have any Alaska miles, you are going to be booking this through Qantas. It's still not too bad for 82,000 points, but at that rate, I would possibly look into seeing, is it more economical to just buy Alaska miles and redeem those rather than moving Amex points over to Qantas to book this from San Francisco. If we wanted to add PPT back in, then we see Alaska miles are once again very valuable for these types of routes into the South Pacific, where you can fly it for 55,000 or 60,000 points rather than the 80 or so thousand that you would need with some different flexible currencies.
I hope you found those tutorials useful. Suggestions and requests for future topics are always welcome. in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this video next.